Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to this program. We're going to talk about today about Chamisa Triple C endorsement of Zimbabwe's readmission to the Commonwealth, regardless of the certainty that these elections are going to be rigged. It is down easy street down payment, if you like. The important thing is Chamisa has endorsed Zimbabwe's readmission into the Commonwealth before the 2023 elections. In his usual long winded and confused way, Chamisa and his Triple C team met the Commonwealth team in Zimbabwe, who are in Zimbabwe, to find out the wish of as many of the key players as regards Zanu PF led government's application to have Zimbabwe readmitted to the Commonwealth. Chamisa started his representation to the Commonwealth delegation with a litany of how Zimbabwe's economic situation was considerably worse than it was in 2023, in 2003, when Zimbabwe was first kicked out of the Commonwealth. On the economic front, we underscored that 49% of Zimbabweans now live in deadening, extreme abject poverty, and highlighted that the general situation and hardships is escalated. The situation is now worse, and it has been on the escalation and suffering of the people, particularly on account of the bad governance, economic mismanagement, corruption, and disputed leadership, Chamisa pointed out. The worsening economic situation is the root cause of the country's worsening political situation. The people have lost confidence in Zanu PF's ability to end their economic suffering. They want change, regime change. And Zanu PF has responded to the people's demand for change by resorting to more and more repressive measures to hang on to power. On the political climate and the breakdown of the rule of law, we emphasized that Zimbabwe suffered from a crisis of governance. We emphasized what is obtaining in the country in terms of breakdown and state of rule of law, Chamisa explained. It is a crisis born out of disputed elections, legitimacy, and we have noted that Zimbabwe is buffeted by a set of circumstances that have germinated acrimony, division, disputed national process and outcome, disputed leaderships, toxicity, and lack of legitimacy. This has been essentially the problem in Zimbabwe. We have also made issue of the voters' roll that must be made available to participants. We want the voters' roll that is going to be used in 2023 elections to be audited by an independent firm so that we do not have shambolic voters' roll. In short, Zanu PF is rigging the 2023 elections already, and there is rising number of cases of wanton violence by Zanu PF operatives, aided and abated by the state institution like the police. Its failure to deal with Zanu PF inspired lawlessness. After saying all that, it is therefore nonsensical for Chamisa to then announce that Triple C did not have any objection to Zimbabwe being readmitted into the Commonwealth.
For the country, what is good for Zimbabwe. We support everything that stands for and respects the Constitution, the citizens of the people, and the people's rights. As the next government, the incoming government, our firm view is that Zimbabwe must normalize relations with all progressive forces, nations, and global institutions, including the Commonwealth, in pursuit of mutual cooperation and national interest. In any event, the original withdrawal from the Commonwealth by Zimbabwe was partisan, ill-conceived, not done in line with national interest, unilateral, and we opposed it then, as we oppose it now. It was not done in pursuance of common national interest. Currently, Zanu PF and bad politics is standing in the way of Zimbabwe being readmitted into the Commonwealth. This is why we continue to speak to Zanu PF, to our colleagues across the political divide, to also respect the need for good governance, the need for respecting their competitors, the need for respecting citizens, so that we are able to start building bridges. We have seen that over the past few years, our colleagues in Zanu PF, instead of building bridges, they have decided to build walls. Instead of maintaining gates unto the world, they have erected iron gates that obstruct our access to the world. We call for a value-based, principles-driven, time-bound and process-benchmark readmission of Zimbabwe to the Commonwealth, guided by
Indeed, Chamisa said that MDC had objected to Zimbabwe being booted out of the club back in 2002, regardless of Zanu PF's failure to hold free, fair, and credible elections, and all the other serious human rights violations at the time. Readmitting Zimbabwe now was correcting a past wrong as far as Chamisa is concerned. Well, not even the arrogant and effervescent Zanu PF has ever dared to dismiss the vote rigging and the human rights violations as inconsequential. For anyone to understand this glaring case of Chamisa and Triple C idiotic duplicity, one has to know the political path they have traveled. The Movement for Democratic Change, MDC, which has morphed into the Citizen Coalition for Change, CCC, was launched in 1999 in answer to the nation's demand for democratic change to end the Zanu PF dictatorship. The people have risked life. Over 500 MDC supporters and ordinary Zimbabweans were murdered by Zanu PF during the 2008 runoff alone. And lean to elect MDC leaders into power on the understanding they would deliver the changes the nation was dying for. After 22 years, 5 of which in the 2008 to 2013 GNU, MDC have failed to deliver even one token reform. The GNU was without doubt the golden opportunity for Zimbabwe to implement reforms. Chamisa and his MDC friends failed to implement even one reform. Not even one. Indeed, the same cavalier indifference to Zanu PF having the carte blanche dictatorial powers to rigging elections and using wanton violence shown above was evident throughout the GNU. The MDC does not care that Zanu PF should rig the elections. Hence the reason why they failed to implement even one token reform when they had the golden opportunity to do so during the GNU. Nelson Chamisa and company do not care. Zanu PF is set to rig the 2023 elections. And admitting Zimbabwe back into the Commonwealth will make it near impossible for the club to condemn the rigged elections. And so readmitting Zanu PF into the Commonwealth is tantamount to granting Zanu PF legitimacy, regardless of how flawed and illegal the election process gets. Again, to outsiders, it is insane that Chamisa and his CCC friends, as the country's main opposition party, and therefore the ones first to suffer if the elections are rigged, should be so indifferent to the elections, to, to the election being rigged. Since the 2008 GNU debacle, Chamisa and company have participated in these flawed and illegal elections. So flawed, the opposition failed to win power, even after garnering 73% of the vote in the March 2008 elections. They also know that by participating, they are giving Zanu PF legitimacy. Still, they participated regardless, because they also know that Zanu PF was giving away a few gravy train seats to entice the opposition to participate. Chamisa and company, they found the bait irresistible. Chamisa and his CCC friends were held bound on participating in the 2023 elections, knowing fully well that Zanu PF was rigging the process, and if need be, would use violence to secure electoral victory. They knew Zanu PF would be giving away the usual few gravy train seats, the reward for participating. So getting Zimbabwe readmitted into the Commonwealth will not will not stop Zanu PF rigging the elections, but will put the regime under increasing pressure to be even more generous with its bait to the opposition to enhance the multi-party democracy facade. And hence the reason why Triple C are supporting this. It took it took Zimbabweans 20 years to accept that Zanu PF was corrupt, incompetent, and murderous thugs, and to come to the consensus the nation needed democratic change to end the Zanu PF dictatorship. How long, I wonder, will it take Zimbabweans to realize Nelson Chamisa and company have abandoned the task of implementing democratic reforms to ensure free and fair elections for the easy street option of cooperating with Zanu PF for a share of the spoils of power? With 49% already living in abject poverty because of the failure to implement reforms and end the dictatorship, the country is sinking deeper and deeper into the abyss. With each passing day, the country remains under this pariah state. What will it take to open Zimbabweans' eyes and mind to the reality that Triple C are selling out? Thank you and good night.